Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone. In this slide, I'm going to explain on priority in Muslim consumption. Learning outcomes. At the end of this chapter, the students will be able to first define the different levels of priorities in Muslim consumption, and second, able to differentiate the priorities in Muslim consumption. These are the contents that I'm going to explain in this chapter. First, the Dharuriyyat, second, the Hajiyat, and third, the Tahsiniyat. However, for this section, I'm going to focus on the Dharuriyyat first. Introduction. Generally, man spends all his wealth on the satisfaction of his wants. Some of his wants are absolutely essential for his life, like food, clothing, shelter, etc. Others are necessary to maintain or increase his efficiency of work, like good food, milk, butter, etc. And still others which provide conveniences and comforts of life. In Islam, to promote human well-being is not only by satisfying material needs, but also spiritual needs. One of the most important of these spiritual or non-material needs for realizing human well-being is mental peace and happiness. Mental peace and happiness requires, in turn, the satisfaction of a number of other needs. If all these needs are not taken care of, there will be a lapse in well-being, leading ultimately to a decline of the society itself and its civilization. The satisfaction of all these needs is a basic human right and has been addressed in Islamic literature under the generic term Maqasid al-Shari'ah, or the meaning is goals of the Sharia. Maqasid al-Shari'ah is a system of values that could contribute to a desired and sound application of the Sharia. It is generally held that the Sharia in all of its parts aims at securing a benefit for the people, or in Arabic, jalb al-manfa'ah or jalb al-masalih, or protecting them against corruption and evil, which is daf al-mafasid in Arabic. From the viewpoint of their relative importance, these maqasid are categorized into three categories: the Dharuriyyat, meaning the necessities, the Hajiyat, or the requirement, and the Tahsiniyat, embellishments or beautification. Let's look one by one. The first priority under Maqasid al-Shari'ah is the Dharuriyyat. What is Dharuriyyat? It means necessities or necessaries, which usually include all things required to meet wants, which must be satisfied. Those wants are absolutely necessary for human life, and without that, man cannot survive. And Imam Al-Ghazali in this matter has categorized or divided Dharuriyyat into 5 categories, which means there are 5 indispensable things that must be protected or safeguarded. First is protection of religion or faith, hifzud din. Second, protection of life, hifzun nafs. Third, protection of mind or intellectual, hifzul aql. Fourth, protection of lineage or posterity, hifzun nasab. Fifth, the last one is protection of wealth or hifzul mal. Okay, let's look on the first example, food. Food is considered to be the most important of all the basic needs of man, and man can exist without clothing and shelter under certain conditions, but he cannot survive without food. So this can be seen in Surah Taha verse 54. It means eat and pasture your cattle, kulu waru'au an'amakum. And second, we can see The dalil from Surah Al-Mu'minun verse 21. A'udzubillahi minasyaitonir rajim. Wa inna lakum fil an'ami la'ibra nusqikum mimma fi butuniha wa lakum fiha manafi'un katsirah wa minha ta'kulun. It means, and surely there is a lesson for you in the cattle. We make you to drink of what is in their bellies, and you have in them many advantages, and of them you eat. So here, food is very important for human beings in order to save their lives. Second example under Dharuriyyat is clothing. After food comes clothing, which is another important need of man. It protects him from heat and cold and adds beauty and good looks to his personality. This can be seen in Surah An-Nahl, verse 81. A'udzubillahi minasyaitonir rajim. Wa ja'ala lakum sarabila taqikumul har. It means He has given you garments to save you from the heat of sun, and clothing served to cover shame and protect man, but with progress he sought to embellish his person with it. This is implied in Surah Al-A'raf verse 26. So in this case, clothing also is important thing, is critical things that must be protected to protect your life. First protect your life and also protect your religion, because in order as a Muslim or Muslimah, you have to observe your umrah. When you observe your umrah, means you protecting the religion, which is Islam. The third example of Dharuriyyat is shelter. Islam has given due consideration to this need of man. That is mentioned in the Quran of buildings, places, glass houses, tents, etc., which man built for his protection and strength in the past. And shelter is very important, is really needed for human beings in order to save their life from any danger. This can be seen in Surah An-Naml, verse 18. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم حتى إذا أتوا على وادي النمل قالت نملة يا أيها النمل ادخلوا مساكنكم لا يحطمنكم سليمان وجنوده وهم لا يشعرون. The meaning is, until they came to the valley of the ants, one of the ants said, O ye ants, enter your houses. Solomon and his hosts crush you underfoot without knowing it. So if the shelter for ants is important, and it's implied that shelter is very important for any living things. So let alone for human beings, we need shelter more than other living things. And Islam has not neglected any aspect of human life. It is obligatory for man to maintain and develop human life in order that every member of the state should be able to obtain his basic necessaries of life. Apart from necessaries of life, humans also need to satisfy their necessaries of efficiency. What is the meaning of necessaries of efficiency? It means the necessaries which are not essential, like food, clothing and shelter, but are necessary for increasing the efficiency of work. For example, having good food, good sleep, good shoe, good health, or regular consumption of fruit, etc. So these things is needed, is important for a person to protect the quality of work, especially for the sole breadwinner of the family. If he or she doesn't get good food or good sleep, it will affect the quality of the work. And for example, if he or she falls sick, so it will affect on how he or she is going to support the family after that in the future. So this thing also is considered or fall under Dharuriyyat. In Surah An-Nahl verse 11, Allah SWT says, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم ينبت لكم به الزرع والزيتون والنخيل والأعناب ومن كل الثمرات إن في ذلك لآية لقوم يتفكرون. It means, with it he produces for you corn, olives, date, palms, grapes, and every kind of fruit. Verily, in this is a sign for those who give thought. So here meaning that having good food, good quality of food, fruits, actually is necessary for human being in order to protect their life. Because, for example, work is important in order to protect the life of the family. Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Maslow's model is used across business disciplines and is a fundamental concept taught in introductory marketing courses. As a consumer behavior topic, Maslow's hierarchy shows students how people are motivated to meet needs, being unable to advance until lower order needs are met. If you look at the pyramid diagram here, the first need that must be met by a human being is physiological. Okay, after that, only then he can meet the next level, like safety, love, or belonging, esteem, and self-actualization. Self-actualization is the peak of the needs that can be satisfied, but provided that all the needs below it must be met first, must be fulfilled first. And Abraham Harold Maslow, okay, the founder of this theory or model, was a psychologist who studied positive human qualities and the lives of exemplary people. In 1954, Maslow created the hierarchy of human needs and expressed his theories in his book titled Motivation and Personality. Maslow's model has been used very extensively in marketing to leverage consumer perceived unmet needs and wants into sales. In fact, the model is so pervasive, despite a lack of evidence of its efficacy, that a marketing paper has been written on this very topic. The famous economist has written that the needs of a human being may seem insatiable or cannot be fulfilled or satisfied. If we compare Maslow's model and the 5 categories of Maqasid al-Sharia, the 5 indispensables: protection of deen, protection of life, protection of mind, protection of lineage, and protection of wealth, we can see that there's something lacking in this theory or this model. In my opinion, the lacking things is the spiritual part, the religion, and we look at all the 5 categories from physiological, safety, love, belonging, esteem, and self-actualization. Actually, most of them are focusing only on human being or the self, how to protect themselves, and maybe a little bit of protection of mind, like self-actualization, problem solving, lack of prejudice, okay, the acceptance of facts. So under Maqasid al-Sharia, we have protection of mind. So this kind of model or theory is not really balanced, and it's not surprising because Abraham Harold Maslow himself is an atheist. So maybe because of that, he did not include spiritual part in his model. That's all for now. I'll continue the explanation on the Hajiyat and Tahsiniyat in the next slide. Thank you.